Hey, Shalom. This is Brian, and I'm here to tell you about Israel Awaken. What is Israel Awaken all about? And when I looked at it, when I thought about explaining what Israel Awaken is all about, it came to me that the best way to do this is to actually explain a little bit about my journey. Because if I speak about my journey, then you will get to understand invention. Okay? So, I was agnostic, and if you know what that means, it means that I neither confirmed nor denied the existence of the Most High. I was one of those who was comfortable in this world, and so I didn't pay much attention to seeking the Most High. So I used to say, oh, well, I don't want to hear anything about the God thing, and the only thing that I used to say is things are just too perfect to happen by chance. That was the only thing that kept me in belief. I used to say, oh, I don't believe in this Bible thing, but things are too perfect to happen by chance. So that, that kept me not too far away from being reached. So while I was in that state, my life started changing for the worst, and I went into some deep problems. Some problems that when I went into the problems and I looked around, there was no one to help me. And so I reached in a stage of constant, I was depressed. I wouldn't say depression, but I was, down. And so one day I went into the bathroom while I was up at my business place. Went into the bathroom and I looked and I said, no one to help me. And then I said, I remember they always said that if you pray to quote unquote God and believe, then He will hear you. So I said, you know what? I have nothing to lose. And so I did just that. And after I finished praying, I felt a whole different change. I felt happy. I felt as if the problem was already solved. And I remember saying to myself, how do I feel like this? Why am I so happy? And I went out of that bathroom very chirpy as if everything was solved. And so said, so done. Right away, the Most High fit everything in place. I don't know if it's the same day or the next day, one of them. But everything started fitting in place, and I saw my miracle coming and my miracle happening right before my eyes. And I was like, wow, He exists. But in Jamaica, I said, He exists for real. So then I really confirmed His existence. And then I said, wow, and He did a miracle for me. I said, what else can I do but serve Him? And so I started on my quest, started reading the Bible and all of that. And so it took me to my quest took me to a Pentecostal church eventually. And so at that Pentecostal church, because of my desire and my zeal and my zest, the Bible was my best friend. So I wasn't one of those who went to church and pastor could tell me something and I let it rest at that. I dug for everything. So after I'm there for a while, just came in, okay, you listen to them, everything they say, you took it and you followed it. But then after reading the Bible, you start seeing, no, this doesn't add up. This is not what it says. This is not what we should do. And they were there, they're on the speaking in tongues thing and the tarrying and all of that. I was saying, no, this is not what the Bible says. Then the Sabbath hit me. And so I took it to them. And they rejected the Sabbath as expected because they're a Sunday church, they're a Christian church. And so I decided, as I always am, I'm not going to sit in any lie. And so I got up and left. Okay? Now when I left, I was in alone for about 3 weeks at home, and then I told someone that this is what I wanted. I wanted an assembly that kept the sacred names, that kept the Sabbath, that kept the feast. So all of these things came out in my 3 weeks in exile, as it were. And so they directed me to the congregation of Yahweh. And so I went there, and I was there for maybe about 4 years. And then when I was there, really taught me a lot. But then, because the Bible is my best friend, again, started finding holes and started finding things that were not matching up with Scripture. And so what was the last thing that was shown to me was the that church was unbiblical, that church as it is. And I was in a church, and the church was unbiblical. The church as it is, the assembly as it is, was not the assembly that is in the Bible. And then Matthew 25 came to me, and I realized that a church will put you in problems, because everyone in the church is just self-seeking, just thinking about their lives and the lives of their family. There was no love and no sharing and no caring for each other. And so I decided that I couldn't stay there. I have to leave, because my zeal from day one is to serve the Most High with all my heart, all my mind, and all my soul. And so I was constantly seeking to do this and not letting anything stop me. And I realized that I could not do it in a church. Because what I realized, that I spent my time, most of my time, defending. When you are in a church, you spend your time defending what you have been taught. You do not spend your time proving all things and seeking all things. If you seek something and come back, that pastor, that person in charge will try to bring you back to their belief. Because what an assembly or a church does, it puts the Most High in a box. And you cannot go outside that box according to that assembly. Because if you go outside that box, then that means that that assembly is found wanting. And we cannot have that. Each assembly, according to how they preach and teach, is that they have the right things. They have the right doctrines. So if you come with something else that contradicts what they do, they try to bring you back down. And so I spent my time trying to back what I had. Now, before I left there, while I was at the congregation of Yahweh, the Most High sent a prophetess to me. And the main thing that she kept telling me about, Brian, you're an Israelite. She got visions and dreams that showed me as an Israelite. But because I was in that assembly, and that assembly follows the same doctrine as Christians, that it does not matter who you are. And so I had that. Whenever she came with it, I brushed it off. I told her, okay, no, you're in the flesh, and this we don't deal with things in the flesh. And so I was there brushing her off, and she was frustrated because I didn't realize then what I was doing was I was despising prophecies. And so I kept brushing her off and brushing her off. But at the same time now, in 2015, it was the same time that, no, I think she came to me 2016 or 17. But 2015, I think, the Most High showed me something, matching up the birth dates of my family with his feast dates, matching it up so perfectly and in order and in synchronicity that I said, wow, this has to be from him. And I calculated it, and I said the chances of this happening is at least 1 in 4.5 trillion. And I said that means it is impossible. So then I asked the pastor of my assembly, and he brushed it aside as well. So I realized that this must be mine to solve. So after a while, after I left that assembly now, then I started digging again. Now I continued digging, rather. I never stopped. Continued digging again. And then the Most High opened my eyes and made me realize that the Bible is not about a religion. It's not about everybody. It's not the Elohim, or they say God of everybody, but the Elohim of Israel. And the Bible is only about Israel. And then when I saw it, I was like, whoa, really? So what these people have been saying all along is true. And then I look back and I remembered, I said, oh, those signs with the feast dates. The Most High was telling me that I'm an Israelite. And then this prophetess that came to me, the Most High was telling me that I'm an Israelite. And so when I accepted, I looked at it and I said, yes. And I started understanding what it means that the Bible itself reads totally different when you look at it as an Israelite. It's an entirely different book. And the understanding was hidden. And I realized how smartly it was hidden from us, because it was hidden unto the end times when his people would rise up again. And then I realized that the Most High called me and was showing me that He has called me to rise up His people and to bring His people to His truth, the truth of who they are. And so I started reading the Bible again as an Israelite. And I tell you, you have to read over the entire book, because everything now starts making sense. The things that you used to brush over, the things I used to think was for everyone, they start realizing that it was speaking for Israel. The Messiah you thought came for everyone, He only came for Israel. Where the other nations come in is that they are given an opportunity. If they hear and want to come in, they have to join Israel. They cannot start another religion like Christianity and be of the Most High. And then I also got to realize the God of Christianity is not Yahuwah Elohim of Israel. They are two totally different beings. And I realized that the Christians were worshipping a false mighty one. So many things have come to me. So the God that most of y'all worship, the God of everyone, it's the God of everyone, and everyone is equal before Him. And there's no difference between, that's a lie. Alright? That's a total lie. It's all about Israel. And if you study and understand the gospel, the good news in Isaiah 61, right? When the Messiah said in Luke that the gospel is fulfilled before your eyes today, He was speaking of the first part of the gospel that was fulfilled in His lifetime. When He returns, He's going to fulfill the other part of the gospel. And it's a whole sweet thing to just be reading the Bible and the truth be coming alive. All right? Just saying this to say that this is who we are, Israel Awaken. And along the way, I had a friend, a partner in crime when we were in sin, we were sinners together, and then the Most High has brought us together. Brother Robert, the Most High speaks to me through numbers, through dates, and He makes me know when He is in it, and when He is making a statement. And I was born the 1st of the 11th. Brother Robert was born the 11th of the 11th. Look at it, there are 7 ones together. 7 is the Most High's perfect number. So the Most High has put us together to do this job, this task of waking up the children of Israel. So, Israel Awaken, what we are all about? We are all about waking up the children of Israel to the knowledge that we have received, that we are the biblical children of Israel. We are the descendants of Jacob. And we are charged to return to the Most High, to His laws, His statutes, and His commandments, to return to Him. And when we return to Him, then He will return to us, and He will gather us, and He will bring us into the land of Israel. The Messiah will return, and we will be kings, and we will rule this world. Alright? So, that's what we're all about, telling our people who they are. So, subscribe to our channel. You can follow us on our social channels as well, and you can contact us, and you can join us in this journey. You can contact us and ask us for more information as we strive to build Israel Awaken and strive to reach our people and to do the will of the Most High, which is to let His people know who they are, so that He can gather the lost sheep of the house of Israel.